It is Sunday, February 2026. If you are a golf fan and you've had your eyes glued to the screens this weekend, you might still be catching your breath.
Absolutely.
We have just witnessed a weekend that felt, less like a standard slate of tournaments and more like this massive tectonic collision of eras.
It really was a collision, wasn't it? It felt like the sport was trying to tell us two different stories at once.
Yeah.
On one hand, you have the old guard proving they aren't going anywhere, and at the same time, you have the new order of golf just completely reinventing its format.
Exactly. And that's our mission for this deep dive. We're not just here to read off a list of scores.
Anyone can do that.
Right. We want to unpack the changing texture of the global game. We're going to look at the data behind a record-breaking performance at Torrey Pines that erased a Tiger Woods milestone.
A huge one.
We'll dissect a chaotic playoff in Bahrain that might have just rewritten the playbook for defecting players, and we will analyze the fine print of the complete overhaul of the live golf format.
And just so you know, we've got a heavy stack of sources today. We're pulling from official tour reports, PGA Tour, DP World Tour, Live, plus the regional updates from the Asian and Sunshine Tours.
A lot of material.
A lot.
Yeah.
And we've got the statistical breakdowns of the 2026 season changes. There's so much nuance here that the headlines missed, and I really want to get into the weeds on the numbers.
Okay, let's do it. We have to start on the West Coast. The Farmers Insurance Open, San Diego. I feel like every few years we have this conversation about Justin Rose where we wonder if he's slowing down, but this week felt different. He's 45 years old, and he just dismantled Torrey Pines.
Dismantled is absolutely the right word. Justin Rose won the 2026 Farmers, sure, but the numbers here, they're staggering. He finished at 23 under par, 265 aggregate.
23 under.
Now, for the casual fan, 23 under is a great score anywhere.
Yeah.
But if you know Torrey Pines, specifically the South Course, that number is almost frightening.
That's deep into video game territory.
Yeah.
Torrey South is a U.S. Open venue. It's long. The rough is thick.
Yeah.
To go that low seems impossible.
Well, context is everything here. The long-standing tournament record was 22 under.
Okay.
And that record was shared by George Burns way back in 1987 and Tiger Woods in 1999.
Wow. So Rose didn't just beat the field. He beat peak-era Tiger at one of Tiger's favorite places to play.
That's the headline. A 45-year-old smashing a Tiger record.
Yeah.
And he did it going wire to wire,
Yeah.
led after every single round.
At 45, that level of focus for 4 days is just incredible.
It is exceptionally rare at this event. The sources point out that nobody has gone wire to wire at the Farmers since Tommy Bolt.
Tommy Bolt.
1955. Think about that. Tiger won there 7 times and he never did it. Rose opened with a 62 on the North Course, which is just blistering.
Right.
And then he backed it up on the much harder South Course. 65, 68, and 70.
I want to dig into the how here. When you look at the ShotLink data, what stood out, usually when older guys win on a course that massive, it's because they, put the lights out.
Jumper for their life.
Exactly. Was that the case?
Actually, no. It was the ball striking. He ranked first in greens in regulation for the week, 82%.
Okay, let's just pause on that. Greens in regulation or GIR?
Right, so GIR is how often you land on the putting surface in the expected number of strokes. It's the purest measure of iron play.
And 82%. At Torrey.
It's absurd. It's a masterclass.
Yeah.
When you're hitting that many greens, you take all the stress off your short game. You're not chipping out of that thick Kikuyu rough. You're just giving yourself birdie look after birdie look.
Makes the game look easy.
And at 45, he is now the oldest winner in the tournament's history. It really forces us to rethink the shelf life of an elite golfer today.
It also helped that we had a proper Sunday finish. I know the last few years it was that weird Wednesday to Saturday schedule.
Yeah, to avoid the NFF.
Seeing it end on a Sunday just felt right.
It did.
Yeah.
The sources mentioned the marine layer lifting, sun coming out for the back nine.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like traditional West Coast golf.
Yeah.
But, the nature of this sport, for every high, there's a crushing low somewhere else. Right. And while Rose was celebrating, we saw a pretty shocking streak come to an end for Xander Schauffele.
This was tough to read about. The hometown hero. San Diego native, San Diego State alum.
It's just a brutal narrative. Xander missed the cut by a single stroke.
One shot.
And that ended a streak of 72 consecutive made cuts. That run lasted 1,391 days. It was the longest since Tiger Woods' record of 142.
The irony that it ended in his backyard, it's palpable. You'd think if he was going to miss a cut, it would be somewhere else, not the place he knows better than anyone.
Well, that's the cruelty of golf, right? It just shows you how tough Torrey Pines is. If your game is just 1% off, that course finds you out. and the counter resets to 0.
So steady dominance in San Diego. But if we hop over to Middle East, steady is definitely not the word for what happened in Bahrain.
No, not at all.
The finish at the Bahrain Championship was absolute madness.
Chaos is probably the better word. This was the DP World Tour event at Royal Golf Club. The winner was Freddie Schott, a 24-year-old German, his maiden title.
A huge moment for him.
Huge. But the story isn't just that he won. It's the bizarre way the playoff went down.
Okay, walk us through it. It was a three-man playoff, right? Schott, Calum Hill, and Patrick Reed.
Correct. They finish regulation tied, head back to 18. First extra hole. Patrick Reed, who had charged up the leaderboard just to get in, finds a bunker.
Okay.
Fails to get up and down, makes bogey. He's out immediately.
All right, standard playoff pressure. Reed is out. Now it's down to Schott and Calum Hill. Second extra hole.
And this is where it completely falls apart for Calum Hill. He drives the ball out of bounds.
Ouch.
So that's stroke 1 plus a penalty. He's line 2, re-teeing. He hits his third shot, and then hits his fourth shot into the water.
Oh, no. That is a complete meltdown.
It's a disaster. At that point, the math just doesn't work. Hill actually conceded the tournament to Schott before Schott even had to finish the hole.
I want to pause on that. A concession. You rarely see that in professional golf. Usually you make the other guy putt out just in case.
It's very rare. But he was lying 5 or 6 before even getting to the green. He knew it was over. But while Schott gets the trophy, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, or the elephant in the playoff, Patrick Reed.
Right. This is the bigger story bubbling under the surface. The context here is explosive. Patrick Reed has announced he is leaving Livy Golf.
This is a potential turning point in the whole Gulf Wars narrative. Reed has been very clear about his goal. He's playing the DP World Tour.
The race to Dubai.
Exactly. To try and finish in the top 10 of those rankings. Because if he does that, he earns a card back onto the PGA Tour for 2027.
That is a fascinating strategic pivot. We've spent years watching players go the other way, leaving the establishment. To see a marquee name leave Livy to grind his way back via Europe, that feels new.
It is a blueprint. Reed has already added the Qatar Masters to his schedule. He's chasing points aggressively. If he pulls this off, he might not be the last one to do it.
It's almost like he's trying to launder his status through Europe to get back to America.
That's a cynical, pretty accurate way to put it. The PGA Tour and DP World Tour have that strategic alliance. The doors are open. Reed is just walking through it. He's betting on himself.
So while Reed is exiting, LIV isn't standing still. They are undergoing a massive structural overhaul. The 2026 season kicks off this Wednesday, February 4th in Riyadh. And looking at our notes, the 54 in Livy,
right,
it's obsolete now.
In terms of tournament play, yes. The headline change is that Livy is moving to 72 holes.
Finally. This has been the biggest criticism from day one.
It's been the biggest barrier to legitimacy. It's a move clearly designed to satisfy the official world golf ranking bodies.
The OWGR, yeah.
They've repeatedly denied Livy ranking points because 54 holes with no cut isn't a comparable test. By moving to 72 holes, they're removing that argument.
Okay, so 72 holes, did they change the field size too?
They did. It's up to 57 players now.
57, still small compared to a standard tour event, but it's growing. But the real story isn't just the number of players, it's the jeopardy.
Exactly. One of the knocks on LIV was that it was just an exhibition with no consequences. That has changed. They have introduced a much harsher drop zone.
How harsh are we talking?
The bottom 11 players, so positions 47 through 57, face automatic relegation at the end of the season.
That is almost 20% of the field. So if you slump, you're out.
You're out. And on the flip side, the lock zone, the safe zone where your contract is guaranteed, is only the top 34.
So everyone in the middle is on notice.
Big time. This introduces real competitive pressure. You can't just coast on a guaranteed contract anymore. Every single bogey matters now.
And there's another change here in the notes about the Asian Tour. New contracts require players to play at least 2 international series events.
This is really smart. They're forcing cross-pollination. The international series is funded by LV, right?
Right.
By forcing the big stars, the Dustin Johnsons, the Brooks Koepkas, to play 2 of these, they guarantee strong fields in places like Thailand or Vietnam.
It integrates LV deeper into the global ecosystem, so it's not just sitting in a silo.
Precisely. It strengthens the pathway. It makes the Asian Tour a more viable route for young players because they know they'll be competing against major champions a few times a year. It validates that tour as a feeder system.
And the season starts in Riyadh, under the lights. But there is one big name who won't be there. Phil Mickelson.
Yes, this is somber news. Phil has withdrawn from the first two events, Riyadh and Adelaide. He cited a private family health matter involving his wife, Amy.
Of course, we wish them the best. From a golf perspective, who's stepping in for him?
Ollie Schniederjans is filling in for the high flyers. But looking at Phil's season, the context is heavy. This is the first year he's not exempt for the U.S. Open. His 5-year exemption from winning the 2021 PGA has expired.
That's a massive deal. Phil has been chasing that U.S. Open forever. Now he's not even in the field.
He has to play his way in, either through qualifying or by getting a special exemption from the USGA, which is never a guarantee. Missing the start of the season puts him on the back foot immediately.
Okay, let's zoom out a bit. Let's do a quick global roundup. The Asian Tour is kicking off its season.
With the Philippine Golf Championship at Whack Whack Golf and Country Club.
Whack, whack. I have to say, that is arguably the best name for a golf club in the world.
It's a fun name, but don't let it fool you. It's a brutal, old-school course. Tight, tree-lined, a real strategic test. The field's strong, too. John Catlin, Jez, Jane Watton-Nund.
And moving over to Africa, the Sunshine Tour had some drama at the SDC Open.
Yeah, this was a bit of a tearjerker. MJ Villejeunes won in a playoff.
Yeah.
But the narrative was the emotion. He almost blew it on the back nine, made 3 straight bogeys.
Oh, the wheels were coming off. That's hard to watch.
They were. But he steadied himself, got into the playoff, and won. His wife and 1-year-old daughter were greenside. You could just see what it meant. For guys not on those mega contracts, these wins are life-changing.
Absolutely. Those are the stories that make the game great. And finally, Down Under. The WebEx Players Series, Murray River. I love this format. It's a mixed-gender field, right?
Yes, which is a fantastic innovation. Men and women, same course, same trophy. Lydia Hall, who just won the Vic Open, finished T6 against the men. But the winner was Hayden Barron.
And he's the one who hit that,
Right.
what was it, 360-yard drive?
360 yards, just monstrous power. And I love that a 13-year-old Fu Yu Yang won the junior title there. It just shows you the depth of talent coming through.
Okay, so taking a step back, we have a 45-year-old winning on the PGA Tour, Livy moving to 72 holes, Patrick Reed using Europe as a bridge. What is the through line here?
I think the theme is convergence.
Yeah.
For years, the narrative was fracture, everything breaking apart.
Yeah.
Now look at the evidence. You have the old guard, Justin Rose, proving the old ways still work. You have Livy adopting a traditional 72-hole format.
Yeah.
And you have Patrick Reed bridging the gap between the tours all by himself.
It feels like the different factions are starting to realize they need to look more like each other to survive.
It's finding a new equilibrium. The old guard and the new formats are starting to blend. The players, well, they're just looking for the best pathway to compete, regardless of the politics.
So maybe the boardroom peace treaty hasn't been signed, but the players and the formats are creating their own peace on the grass.
That's a great way to put it. We're seeing a natural unification through scheduling and format changes, not a top-down mandate.
With Live starting Wednesday, we don't have to wait long for the next chapter.
No, night golf in Riyadh. It's going to be a spectacle. And I'd tell you to keep a close eye on that drop zone in Live. With only 57 players, that bottom 11 is a very real threat from day one.
And keep an eye on Justin Rose. If he's playing like this at 45, smashing Tiger's records, who knows what he does at the majors this year?
Absolutely. The 2026 season is officially in full swing.
That is it for this deep dive. Whether you are watching the lights in Riyadh or the sunrise at Whack Whack, enjoy the golf. Thanks for listening.
See you out there.